Hello. Okay. Oh, Jesus. I need this reading today. I need this reading. I need it. I need this reading. Where was we yesterday? Because we didn't even really get far for real. I didn't get to get as far as I wanted to. I'm pretty sure I got to chapter 18. Yeah. Yeah, I got to chapter 18. Um, hello. I got to chapter 18. What am I doing? I'm plugging this in. All right. Whew. Let me take some deep breaths. Life is lifing. Life is lifing. You. You. All right. Okay. Life is lifing. Okay. Boom. 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 Deep breaths. Because man, the days life is trying to life, and the day is trying to get to me, and now that cannot happen. So I'm gonna pray. I'm excited to read the word today, and I just really hope that this lifts my spirits. So yeah, we're gonna pray. Dear Lord, dear Lord, small things are small things, and you are so good, and your blessings really just overshadow the small things that we encounter every day. God, I just pray that you just help me focus my mind on positive things, God. Help me to focus my mind on the blessings that you have blessed me with and have given me, God. And Lord, I just pray for people and connections and those who are willing to help. God, I pray that this word just uplifts my spirit going into the weekend. I'm praying that I get multiple readings done the next couple of days, God. Help me to really lock in and to focus and to just really just dive into your word, God. Help me to be focused and just to let it all just soak in, Lord. Help it to soak in. Lord, um I pray against the pressures to be like other people. I pray that you guide me and that you lead me spiritually, God. And I just pray that you just be through me, Lord. I pray the Holy Spirit in this place. I welcome the Holy Spirit. And I pray that the Holy Spirit guides me. And I'm praying that you just calm my nerves, calm my heart, calm my chest, calm my head. And I pray. Amen. Okay. So yesterday we left off at 2 Samuel. We read to chapter 17 because I was babysitting and the babies was giving sit. Just kidding. They were not giving sit. They were giving move around. So I'm just gonna read Samuel and yeah, boom. So 2 Samuel chapter 18. And David numbered the people who were with him and set captains of thousands and captains of hundreds over them. Then David came out one third of the people under the hand of Joab, and one third of the hand of Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, Joab's brother, and one third under the hand of Attai the Gittite. And the king said to the people, I will surely go out with you myself. But the people answered, you shall not go out, for if we flee, they will not care about us, nor if half of us die, they will care about us. But you are worth 10,000 of us, for you are now more help to us in the city. And the king said to them, whatever seems best to you, I will do. So the king stood beside the gate, and all the people went out by hundreds and by thousands. Now the king had commanded Joab, Abishai, and Attai, saying, deal gently for my sake with the young man Absalom. And all the people heard that the king gave the captain's orders concerning Absalom. So the people went out into the field of battle against Israel, and the battle was in the woods of Ephraim. The people of Israel were overthrown there before the servants of David, and a great slaughter of 20,000 took. took place there that day, for the battle there was scattered over the face of the whole countryside, and the wood devoured more people that day than the sword devoured. Then Absalom met the servants of David. Absalom rode on a mule, and the mule went under a thick bough of a great terebinth tree, and his head caught in the terebinth, so he was left hanging between heaven and earth. And the mule which was under him went on. Now a certain man saw it and told Joab, and said, I just saw Absalom hanging in a terebinth tree. So Joab said to the man who told him, You saw him. Why did you not strike him there to the ground? I would have given you 10 shekels of silver and a belt. But the man said to Joab, Though I were to receive thousands of shekels of silver in my hand, I would not raise my hand against the king's son. For in our hearing the king commanded you and Abishai and Attai, saying, Beware lest anyone touch the young man Absalom. Otherwise I would have dealt falsely against my own life. For there is nothing hidden from the king, and you yourself would have gone against me. Then Joab said, I cannot linger with you. And he took 3 spears in his hand and thrust them through Absalom's heart while he was still alive in the midst of the terebinth tree. And 10 young men who bore Joab's armor surrounded Absalom and struck and killed him. So Joab blew the trumpet, and the people returned from pursuing Israel. For Joab held back the people. And they took Absalom and cast him into a large pit in the woods and laid a very large heap of stones over him. Then all Israel fled, and everyone to his tent. Now Absalom in his lifetime had taken and set up a pillar for himself, which is in the king's valley. For he said, I have no son to keep my name in remembrance. He called the pillar after his own name, and to this day it is called Absalom's monument. Then Ahimaaz the son of Zadok said, Let me run now and take the news to the king, for how the Lord has avenged him of his enemies. And Joab said to him, You shall not take the news this day, for you shall take the news another day, but today you shall take no news, because the king's son is dead. Then Joab said to the Cushite, Go tell the king what you have seen. So the Cushite bowed himself to Joab and ran. And Ahimaaz the son of Zadok again said to Joab, But whatever happens, please let me run after the Cushite. So Joab said, Why will you run, my son, since you have no news ready? But whatever happens, he said, Let me run. So he said to him, Run. And Ahimaaz ran by the plain and outran the Cushite. Now David was sitting between the 2 gates, and the watchman went to the roof over the gate to the wall, and his eyes lifted and looked, and there was a man running along. Then the watchman cried out and told the king, and the king said, If he is alone, there is news in his mouth. And he came rapidly and drew near. Then the watchman saw another man running. And the watchman called to the gatekeeper, There is another man running alone. And the king said, He also brings news. So the watchman said, I think the running of the first is like the running of Ahimaaz, the son of Zadok. And the king said, He is a good man and comes with good news. So Ahimaaz called out and said to the king, All is well. Then he bowed down with his face to the earth before the king and said, Blessed be the Lord your God, who has delivered the men who raised their hand against my lord and king. The king said, Is the young man Absalom safe? And Ahimaaz answered, When Joab sent the king's servant and be your son, I saw a great tumult, but I did not know what it was about. And the king said, Turn aside and stand here. So he turned aside and stood still. Then the Cushite came. The Cushite said, There is good news, my lord and king, for the Lord your God has avenged you this day of those who rose against you. And the king said to the Cushite, Is the young man Absalom safe? And the Cushite answered, May the enemies of my lord, the king, and all who rise against you to do harm be like that young man. Then the king was deeply moved, and he went up to his chamber over the gate and wept. And as he went, he said this, Oh, my son Absalom, my son Absalom, if only I had died in your place. Oh, Absalom, my son, my son. So he's really grieving him not being alive, though he was really against him. Chapter 19, and Joab was told, Behold, the king is weeping and mourning for Absalom. So the victory that day was turned into mourning for all the people, for the people heard it said that day, The king is grieved for his son. And the people stole back into the city that day, as people who are ashamed to steal away when they flee in battle. But the king covered his face, and the king cried out with a loud voice, Oh, my son Absalom, oh, Absalom, my son, my son. Then Joab came into the house of the king and said, Today you have disgraced all your servants, who today have saved your life, the lives of your sons and daughters, the lives of your wives, and the lives of your concubines, in that you love your enemies and hate your friends. For you have declared today that you regard neither princes nor servants. For today I perceive that if Absalom had lived and all of us had died, then it would have pleased you well. Now therefore arise, go out and speak comfort to your servants. For I, by the Lord, if you do not go out, no one will stay with you this night, and that will be worse for you than the evil that has befallen you for your youth until now. Then the king arose and sat in the gate, and they told all the people, saying, There is a king sitting in the gate. So all the people came before the king, for every one of Israel had fled to his tent. Man, you gotta roll with the folks who with you. Okay. Now all the people were in a dispute throughout the tribes of Israel, saying, The king saved us from the hand of our enemies, and he delivered us from the hand of the Philistines, and now he has fled from the land because of Absalom. But Absalom, whom he anointed over us, has died in battle. Now therefore, why do you say nothing about bringing back the king? So King David sent to Zadok and Abiathar the priests, saying, Speak to the elders of Judah, saying, Why are you the last to bring the king back to his house, since the words of Israel have come to the king to this very house? You are my brethren, and you are my bone and my flesh. Why then are you the last to bring back the king? And say to Amasa, Are you not my bone and my flesh? God do so to me and more also, if you are not the commander of army before me continually in the place of Joab. So he swayed the hearts of all the men of Judah, just as a heart of one man, so that they sent this word to the king, saying, Return you and all of your servants. Then the king returned and came to the Jordan, and Judah came to Gilgal to meet the king, to escort the king across the Jordan. And Shimei, the son of Jerah, a Benjamite who was from Bahurim, hurried and came down with the men of Judah to meet King David. There was 1,000 men of Benjamin with him, and Ziba the servant, the house of Saul, and his 15 sons and his 20 servants with him. And they went over the Jordan before the king. Then a ferry boat went across to carry the king's household to do what he thought was good. Now Shimei, the son of Jerah, fell before the king when he had crossed the Jordan. Then he said to the king, Do not let my lord impute iniquity on me, or remember what wrong your servant did on the day that my lord left Jerusalem. The king should take it to heart. For I, your servant, know that I have sinned. Therefore, here I am, the first one to come today of the house of Joseph to go to meet my lord the king. But Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, answered, said, Shall not Shimei be put to death for this, because he cursed the Lord's anointed? And David said, What have I to do with you, you sons of Zeruiah, that you should be adversaries to me today? Shall any man be put to death today in Israel? For do I not know today that I am the king over Israel? Therefore the king said to Shimei, You shall not die. And the king swore to him. Now Mephibosheth, the son of Saul, came down to meet the king. He had not cared for his feet, nor trimmed his mustache, nor washed his clothes from the day that the king departed until the day that he returned in peace. So it was when he came to Jerusalem to meet the king that the king said to him, Why did you not go with me, Mephibosheth? And he said, My lord, O king, my servant deceived me. For your servant said, I will saddle a donkey for myself, that I will ride and go to the king, because your servant is lame. And he has slandered your servant to my lord the king. But my lord the king is like an angel of God. Therefore do what is good in your eyes. For all of my father's house were but dead men before the Lord the king. Yet you set your servant among those to eat at your own table. Therefore what right do I have to still cry out any more to the king? And the king said to him, Why do you speak any more of your matters? I have said, You and Ziba divide the land. Then Mephibosheth said to the king, Rather let him take it all, inasmuch my lord the king has come back to peace in his own house. And Barzillai the Gileadite came down from Rogelim and went across the Jordan with the king to escort him across the Jordan. Now Barzillai was a very aged man, 80 years old, and he had provided the king with supplies while he stayed at Mahanaim, for he was a very rich man. And the king said to Barzillai, Come across with me, and I will provide for you while you are with me in Jerusalem. But Barzillai said to the king, How long do I have to live that I should go up with the king to Jerusalem? I am today 80 years old. Can I discern between good and bad? Can your servant taste what I eat or what I drink? Can I hear any longer the voice of singing men and singing women? Why then should your servant be a further burden to my lord? Your servant will go a little way across the Jordan with the king. Why should the king repay me with such a reward? Please let your servant turn back, that I may die in my own city near the grave of my father and my mother. But here is a servant of Chimham. Let him cross over with my lord the king and do for him what seems good to you. And the king answered, Chimham shall cross over with me, and I will do for him what seems good to you. Now, whatever you request of me, I will do for you. Then all the people went over to the Jordan when the king had crossed over and kissed Barzillai and blessed him, and he returned to his own place. Now the king went to Gilgal, and Chimham went on with him, and all the people of Judah escorted the king, also half the people of Israel. Then all the men in Israel came, Israel came to the king and said to the king, Why have our brethren, the men of Judah, stolen you away and bought the king, his household, and all of David's men with him across the Jordan? Then all the men of Judah answered the men of Israel, Because the king is a close relative of ours. Why then are you angry on this matter? Have we eaten at the king's expense, or has he given us a gift? And the men of Israel answered to the men of Judah, saying, We have 10 shares in the king. Therefore, we also have more right to David than you. Why then do you despise us? Were we not the first to advise bringing back our king? Yet the words of the men of Judah were fiercer than the words of the men of Israel. Chapter 20. What were we reading to? Oh, this is what we was reading to. Okay. And there happened to be there a rebel whose name was Sheba, the son of Bichri the Benjamite, and he blew a trumpet and said, We have no share in David, nor do we have inheritance in the son of Jesse, every man to his tent, O Israel. So every man of Israel deserted David and followed Sheba, the son of Bichri, so the Benjamite, of course. But the men of Judah from Jordan as far as Jerusalem remained loyal to their king. Now David came to his house in Jerusalem, and the king took 10 women, his concubines, whom he had left to keep the house, and put them in seclusion and supported them, but did not go into them. So they were shut up to the day of their death, living in widowhood. And the king said to Amasa, Assemble the men of Judah for me within 3 days, and be present here yourself. So Amasa went to assemble the men of Judah, but he delayed longer than the set time which David had appointed him. And David said to Abishai, Now Sheba, the son of Bichri, will do us more harm than Absalom. Take your Lord's servant and pursue him, lest he find for himself fortified cities and escape us. So Joab's men with the Cherethites to the Belathites and all the mighty men went after him. And they went out of Jerusalem to pursue Sheba, the son of Bichri. When they were at the large stone, which is Gibeon, Amasa came before them. Now Joab was dressed in battle armor, on it the belt with the sword fastened to the sheaths in his hips, and he was going forward. It fell out. Then Joab said to Amasa, Are you in health, my brother? And Joab took Amasa by the beard with his right hand to kiss him. But Amasa did notice the sword that was in Joab's hand, and he struck him in the stomach, and his entrails poured out on the ground, and he did not strike him again. Thus he died. So Joab died. That sucks. Wait, time out. Joab said to Amasa, Joab took Amasa by the beard. But Amasa did not. Oh, sorry. Amasa did not notice. That's what it was. He did not notice the sword that was in Joab's hand. And he struck him in the stomach, and his entrails poured out on the ground, and he did not strike him again. Thus he died. So it was Amasa that died. Then Joab and Abishai, his brother, pursued Sheba, the son of Bichri. Meanwhile, one of Joab's men stood near Amasa and said, Whoever favors Joab and whoever is for David, follow Joab. But Amasa wallowed in his blood in the middle of the highway, and when the men saw all the people stood still, he moved Amasa from the highway in the field and threw a garment over him. When he saw that everyone who came out upon him halted, when he was removed from the highway, all the people went on after Joab to pursue Sheba, the son of Bichri. And he went through the tribes of Israel to Abel and Beth Makkah and all the Berites. So they were gathered together and also went after Sheba. Then they came and besieged him in Abel Beth Makkah, and they cast up a siege mound against the city, and it stood by the rampart. And all the people who were with Joab battered the wall to throw it down. Then a wise woman cried out from the city, Here, here, please say to Joab, Come nearby that I may speak with you. And when he came near to her, the woman said, Are you Joab? And he answered, I am. And she said to him, Hear the words of your maidservant. And he answered, I am listening. So she spoke, saying, They used to talk in former times, saying, Thus shall surely see guidance at Abel, so they would end disputes. And I'm among the peaceable and the faithful in Israel. You seek to destroy a city and a mother in Israel. Why would you swallow up the inheritance of the Lord? And Joab answered and said, Far be it from me that I should swallow up or destroy. That is not so. But a man from the mountains of Ephraim, Sheba, the son of Bichri by name, has raised his hand against the king, against David. Deliver him only, and I will depart from the city. So the woman said to Joab, Watch, his head will be thrown to you over the wall. Then the woman and her wisdom went to all the people, and they cut off the head of Sheba the son of Bichri and threw it out to Joab. Then he blew a trumpet, and they withdrew from the city, every man to his tent. Okay, woman, you she got a name? See, the wise woman. You see how she wise. She saved them all from she done saved them all from getting a city all burnt up. Then he blew a trumpet, and they withdrew from the city, every man to his tent. So Joab returned to the king at Jerusalem, and Joab was all over the army of Israel. Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, was over the Cherethites and the Belathites. Adam was in charge of revenue, and Jehoshaphat, the son of Elihud, was a recorder. Sheva was a scribe, Zadok and Abiathar a priest, and Era the Jerethite was a chief minister under David. So we are still on the comeback, but in my little reading plan, this says 13 to 20, and I need to pray. I got like a heavy heart today because life is really trying to life. So I really do need to pray. So I need to come back on here, and I think I'm gonna come back on here maybe in like an hour or two. Because it's only 5:20. So I'm gonna try to come back on here in about like an hour or two. I don't think I want to be on TikTok. Okay, it already ended. Hold on. I'm gonna just extend my time on TikTok. I don't think I want to be on here. Back to what I was saying. Okay, lost connection, whatever. Back to what I was saying, I don't want to be on TikTok because I just feel like it's kind of distracting. So if you are looking on TikTok, you can just check the link in my bio for this. That way I can like Google stuff too. But I need to pray. I was a little distracted during my reading today. And I still got a heavy heart. So I need to pray and then to come back. So hopefully at like 7 o'clock, I'll go live again at 7. That's what I'm going to say. At 7, I'm going to go live. If you're watching this, click the link in my bio. I'm going live again at 7. That is the plan. So, and then we'll read until Kings 2. So that is the plan. I will see y'all later. Y'all have a good day.